Hello everyone, hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Nkisha Harrison and I want to welcome you to my channel, Life with Nkisha Harrison. Here I talk about everything self-development, everything travel, everything beauty, everything information. So if any of those topics interest you, please be sure to click the subscribe button below, not forgetting the bell right next to it to get notified when I post new videos with new information. So in today's video, I wanted to talk about how I was able to acquire land in Kenya and the process I went through. This video will be super informative for you if you're planning to buy land anywhere in Kenya. The first step of this whole process, I know this sounds really obvious, but it's to find the land. And some people actually don't know where to start. Like, you have the money, you know where you want to buy the land, but you do not have you don't know where to find it. So here I would advise people to, like, in your local district or in your local town, find an agency that deals with selling land. That's an option. But if you want to save money, like I did in my case, I just went on Facebook and found a group of people selling land in the area. In my case, I found this group called Meru Plots and Lands for Sale. You can definitely know a legitimate Facebook group by the number of people that are members in it, as well as how active it is. This way will help you to find local agents who don't necessarily have firms or offices. It will also help you deal directly with owners. You can find owners selling land there. That's an option too. The next step after you found the land is to conduct an official search. This step helps you as a buyer identify land that is, for example, that has bank payments on it. For example, land that has been put as security deposit for a loan. It also helps you know who's the real owner of the land according to the records in the government office. So this is a really important step, and you need to conduct a search, and the results that you get will be an official stamped copy of the results, which we will need later in the process. So when conducting this land search at the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning offices, the requirements you will need are a filled out application form for the search. Don't worry about this form. What I did with this form, I tried to look for it online, but I couldn't find it. Don't worry about it, because when you go to the offices, they usually have them there. They have a cyber, which they tell you just go ask for this form. It's called a form RL26. So then what else you need is a copy of the title deed. So after you found the land and you're happy with it, what you need to do is ask the seller to give you a copy of the title deed. If possible, you should be able to view the original title deed in the first step. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. And ask them for a copy of it. Another thing you need is a PIN certificate copy, your KRA PIN. And another thing you need is the ID copy of yourself, like the applicant, whoever wants to apply for this land search. So you will gather all these documents and submit them to do the land search, which will take about 2 to 3 days to get the results. After submitting all these documents together with the application form for the official search, while you're still at the Ministry of Lands offices, make sure to go to the map section and request for a map of this specific title deed. The map costs about 500 shillings, and this shows you the official physical location of the land that is on the title deed. So you don't want to buy some land, but the title deed shows it's a different land. So once you have the map, because it's kind of called a mutation, what you need to do is get a surveyor. You can get one from the Ministry of Lands offices and pay them, or you could also get your freelance surveyor from anywhere else. And what you will do is you will take them to the land and they will establish if this is the correct land on the title deed. Getting a surveyor to come check the map also helps you confirm the acreage of the land. Like, you want to be sure that, yes, this land I'm being sold to is half an acre, or it's 1 acre, or like, they will help you confirm everything so that you're not paying more for less. Next step will be to wait for the official search results, which you will collect at the Ministry of Lands offices. So the results need to align with the title deed. Make sure that the name of the person is the same exact one on the title deed, and the results will also show you if there is any land lease payments that are hanging on the land. Another key thing to note when you go view the land, before you even think about signing an agreement, what you need to do is go back to the land and go and talk to the neighbors. Go and just hang around there, because this helps you to know what's up with the land. Also, please make sure to know why the seller is selling the land. It could be they're selling because they just found out it's on riparian land. So to avoid all this, just take your time with this whole process. Don't be too quick because of the excitement. So after you've done the surveying of the land, the next step will be to get a lawyer and draft an agreement. So in my experience, what we did was the seller and I went and found a lawyer in the town, and we both sat down with a lawyer and told them what's going on and we're interested in buying the land, and the lawyer was able to draft an agreement for both of us. So the lawyers charge about 3,000 shillings for the agreement, and you make sure that it protects you as a buyer and it protects the seller as well. In my case, this is the part also when you sign the agreement, this is also the part where the buyer leaves the title deed with the lawyer. That's what we did in my case, and I made sure that in the agreement it stated that in case anything happens, that we do not complete this process, that the deposit is refundable to me. And the seller also made sure that I will not back out of the deal, in which case they stated that in case I back out of buying this land, I will pay them. It was like I will pay them, the deposit stays with them, basically. That's what it was, and I will pay some more money on top of that. So these are kind of the things that protect both of you, and I was pretty sure I will not back out of the agreement. So we went ahead and signed the papers, and I paid a deposit of 10%. So you can if you can pay lower, do it, but usually sellers like to ask for a 10% deposit. There's an important part that I need you guys to know. As I was looking for a surveyor for the land, I ended up running into an agency office, and this agency office, they told me they help you with the whole process of acquiring land and the whole process. Like they will book all the bookings for you, submit all the papers, do all the payments for you, and you just need to pay them 4,000 shillings. So this is also an option. I took it because it made things so much easier, and they did such an amazing job. So from this step, after I was able to survey the land, we were dealing with this office of this agency, and they were able to advise me on everything and make sure that the agreements favor me also as a buyer. After signing the agreement and you pay the deposit, the next step is for them, the agency, were able to book a board meeting. So you have to go in front of a council of elders in Meru. I had to go in front of a council of elders, and but you have to book an appointment because they're not always available. They do this like for different areas, different days of the week. So we had to wait like a week before we had an appointment. And so this board, it also protects you as a buyer, because this board meeting, the seller has to come with his whole family, like his spouse, and if he has kids above the age of 18, those are the people that can stop the transfer of property to you. Like a spouse can definitely put a stop to the sale of land. So you also want to be safe. Obviously, before signing the agreement and paying deposit, you could ask them to meet the family and have a word with them. This is for your own good. I personally had met the family before I was able to pay the deposit and sign the agreement at the lawyer. So these are just small bits of information that you wouldn't find out there. But for your own safety, make sure you've met the wife or husband or whoever is selling you the land. So at this board meeting, what usually happens is that the council of elders will ask the seller, like, why is he selling the land and what are his plans, and they will make sure the family is present. They will also ask him about any of his children. So this is usually about the seller. So they didn't ask me any questions. All they did was ask me why I'm interested in this land. I said, yes, I'm interested in building and farming. And that was it. So after this council of elders consents to the land being sold, they will give you an original consent form, which is like a piece of paper that is fully stamped and signed by the district commissioner of lands and all of that. So this paper we will need it when we're going to apply for my title deed. After the board meeting, what we did was, now this is the step where the seller is cleared to sell the land. You will go back to the lawyer. In this case, we went back to the agency I was using, and they witnessed me paying the rest of the deposit. Also, the seller had left his title deed with the agency. This is why I also love this option, because once I paid the deposit, the seller left the original title deed with this agency, and the agency was able to keep it on both of our behalves. And after this step, this is where now the agency took all these documents that I had. We had the official land search, we had the maps, I also had to present a passport photo, the sale agreement. You must present a sale agreement when transferring title deed in Kenya, my KRA PIN. And this agency took this to the Ministry of Lands offices, where they went through it and everything was cleared. After everything was cleared, this is the point where we had to pay the stamp duty. So I had to pay the stamp duty, which is 4% of the value of the land in big towns and 2% in rural towns. The only way that the Ministry of Lands will know how the value of the land, they usually have their own valuer from the government. So after you've given out all these documents and you're cleared to pay for stamp duty, they will send a valuer to the land, and the valuer will check the piece of land, check the neighboring surroundings, and check how much the value of the land is. Does it have any buildings on it? Does it have any structures or whatever? So after they check the value, in my case I was really happy because the value of the land was valued at almost what I got it for. So this is where you pay stamp duty, which is 4% in big towns and 2% in rural towns. So after you've established how much stamp duty you have to pay, the next step is to pay for it, which you have to pay for it with a banker's check. There's only several banks that are allowed to take this payment. In my case, I did it with Absa Kenya, and I paid for it. And then what you do next is you go online into your KRA iTax portal, where you submit for the payment, and you'll get a document that you will take to the bank. Another bank, that's where you pay for it with your unique reference number, and then you'll get a banker's check in return. So this banker's check, you have to take it back to the Ministry of Lands with 5,000 shillings for the government to print your new title deed. After payment of the stamp duty and you've taken the banker's check back to the ministry with your 5,000 shillings, you just have to wait 1 week and you will have the title deed in your name. And so you will get a new title deed in your name, as well as your stamp duty payment receipt. And what you need to do after this is, after maybe after 6 months, you need to conduct another search to make sure that the land is now officially in your name in the government records. So that was it for the process, guys. I will put down in the comments below, please be sure to check, and in the description I will put down some other key things you need to know when buying land. I hope I helped someone with their quest to buy land in Kenya. If you're in Meru or anywhere in Kenya and have any questions, please make sure to comment below and I'll be sure to help you with it. I always reply to comments within a few hours, so don't be shy to ask me anything. And thank you guys for watching this video. I'll see you in my next video. Please be sure to subscribe and like this video. Thank you so much.